Hello, hi. The lighting in here is absolute garbage, so you're gonna see only half of my face, which is probably fine because my face is a little bit mushy anyways. That almost made sense. Anyway, we're doing another one of these. I've chosen Vox for this one because I both love and hate this little shit. Yeah. I love his design. I love his concept. But by virtue of preferring Alistair, I kind of also have a little bit of an annoyance with him. Which I feel like is fair. Anyways, I'm also only going to be doing one of these because I have noticed that my brain stops having things to say around the 35-minute mark. And given that doing two of them usually takes an hour, I'm presuming that taking one of them should only take around a half hour-ish. We shall see. God, I wish the lighting in this room was better. Anyway, the problem is there's not really a huge amount that I can do about it because my other place that I would put a light normally is over here. And the problem is, over there is also where my other monitor is. And the second monitor is generally slightly more important than having another light source. So, here we are. See, I feel like this room wouldn't be so dang dark if it weren't also so dang tall. I think that's really the problem. If they had cut the ceiling at like a reasonable height, I feel like we would be in a better situation with lighting. But here we are. I have reference pulled up on my second monitor, which is again why second monitor is generally more important than, a thing. I'm gonna be honest with you, my brain is kind of mush right now. So if I seem out of it, that is why I have kind of been an emotional train wreck the last several days for a multitude of reasons. Oh, hey, this time it didn't argue with me about... Nope, I'm not gonna say the thing. It didn't argue with me about releasing the water into the brush. There we go. I didn't say the first thing that popped into my head, and that is a achievement. Now, the problem is I can't tell if I messed up his eyes or not, because in some images the fun eye is on this side, and in some images it's on this side, and I'm like, I don't know. At this point, I have only seen the first episode. Obviously, when this comes out, I will have seen, at very minimum, the first 4 episodes that were released for the premiere. But as of recording this, I have only seen the first episode. Namely because I am not the one that has Amazon Prime. It is my boyfriend that has it. And as of recording this, it released yesterday. And he hasn't gotten a chance to come over because it also released as a surprise a day early, as it was supposed to release today. So I guess you could also say that I'm recording Vox particularly because it happens to be on my brain. But yeah, there are so many things happening in my brain, mostly due to the fact that there are, I think, too many things happening all at once, and my brain doesn't quite like it, as it is too many things happening all at once. may have made the graphite marks on this a little bit too strong. The problem is I don't want to erase too much either, because then there's no guide. Tori, you should be using a kneaded eraser. Kneaded erasers don't work very well on canvas because of the texture of the canvas. Regular erasers also don't work very well on canvas, but they work better than kneaded erasers do. And that's kind of the predicament that I am in. Oh well. The good news is graphite is in fact very water soluble, which means that if I really desperately need to, I can just smudge until it goes away. Which is how I live my life generally. Sad but true. Now, Vox has a lot of small detaily bits. Yeah, small detaily bits that are going to be significantly easier to add once I am at the outlining phase. Which is why it's going to be mildly obnoxious and not look quite white for a little while. As I go through and do all of the big chunks of color with this, and then go back in and detail everything later. Now, the main thing that I'm kind of slightly concerned about is waiting on dry time, as dry time is usually what I avoid having to deal with when I'm doing... Which red did I use? I think it was this one. Dry time is usually the thing I'm able to avoid dealing with when... Excuse me. There's like 2 crickets left in the frog terrarium that Ash just has not gotten yet. And they have decided to have a screaming match right now. And that's fun. Anyway, so the main thing that I'm like slightly concerned about is the dry time, because that's the thing I usually avoid having to argue with by doing 2 of them at a time. Because by doing 2 of them at a time, I don't have to worry about the dry time, because I'm doing the second one while the first one is drying. This is slightly pink, like... This red is slightly less red than I thought it was. Or maybe it's just that he is so saturated in his colors that my brain is just like, this is not correct. Well. Do I want to try to go around the edges with this? Yeah. That seems about right. And I know someone is going to be like, well, your square or rectangle is not a perfect rectangle or whatever. I know. Do I care? No, I don't. I'm having fun, and that's really, honestly, the goal. And I don't need him to be a perfect square. You know why? Because he's a heckin' cartoon character. Cartoon characters are a little bit bendy-wendy anyways. He doesn't need to be a perfect square. And also, trust me, my OCD would prefer it if I could do that too, but I don't feel like trying to find all my... I have washi tape. The problem is using washi tape to try to make the straight edges just makes everything take longer to dry. And given that I am okay with him being a little bit wonky, because quite frankly, a lot of my things are a little bit wonky, and it will just make him match. That's about where I sit. If I was making this as like a commission or something, and I was making it for someone else, and it wasn't just going to become part of my background later, whenever we figure out where we're going. If I was doing it for like someone, I would probably care more. But if I was doing it for someone, I also probably wouldn't necessarily be recording it. And if I was, it most certainly wouldn't be for an unedited video. I feel like that's fair. Do I wanna... So there's the one of the other annoying things. Sometimes he appears to be more dark blue, and other times he's definitely and clearly black for like the area around his screen and also his like main jacket hat thing. Oh, okay. Excuse me. I apologize. But you know what? Everyone does it. And if you are going to be in the comments like, I don't, you're a liar. So there's that. Doodly-doo. Also, I didn't mind so much if the graphite lines were a little wibbly-wobbly, because I can just paint them straighter. I mean, sometimes I can just paint them straighter. I guess not every time I can manage to paint them straighter, but usually I can manage to paint them straighter. And strangely, sometimes this bit is also like a light blue, almost like his teeth, and sometimes it's like gray. So, I don't know. It's hard to keep track of characters as they go through various design changes. And since I haven't seen past the first episode-y thing, I don't exactly 100% know the complete design. I was keeping up with some of the design changes as they were being made, but honestly, I wasn't keeping up with them like as well as some other people were. I was kind of just vaguely keeping up and being aware of the fact that they were happening, if that makes any sense. A lot of the little detail-y bits are going to be done with either marker or gel pen, probably. Like the little zigzaggy across his hat. And some of the detail in his eyes. Probably his eyebrows, too, honestly. Because his eyebrows are very, very thin. Yeah. This one's going to be slightly less watercolor and slightly more me doing detail work with pens and markers, it appears. think I'm gonna go with this gray because this gray is a little bit lighter than that one. Yeah. Could have used that gray, but that gray is a little bit, like, browner than I would like. The other convenient thing with accidentally going too dark with the graphite on Vox specifically is that because he does have a screen for a head, it's already gray, which means that me going over things in gray is not messing anything up. And things becoming grayer doesn't really mess anything up. So that's hella convenient. Doodly doodly doo. Ooh, that one, that little stripe just decided to be much darker than the rest. Well, I guess that's where I'm picking up pigment for a little while. Which is kind of good. I wanted to darken around the top bits of the eyes a little. There we go. Okay, good. The annoying thing about having to have the light on the way that I do under here so that you guys can see is that from this angle, anything that's wet is just a glare. So I'm like, did that fill in? Can't tell. Unclear. Yeah. And of course my brain continuously forgets, hey, if you can't see it on there, you could at least look up and then it'll be right there and then you'll see, you know. I'm gonna blue this a little bit, I think. Like, I like the gray as a base, but I think I'm gonna add a little bit of the blue in. Yeah, that looks better. A little bit more on the bottom bit. Yeah, that looks better, I think. In person, it's much bluer than it is on camera, which is, again, need to get a better art cam. I'm not gonna lie. Or I need to get a better face cam and then use the face cam as the art cam. One of the two has to happen. Yeah. Okay, that is black. So the question is, do I want to try to do it black with this, or do I want to wait to do it with a marker? I think I'm going to do it with the marker. I think the marker is going to just look better for that part. Yeah. I don't have any, like, medium-sized ones of these anymore. I had to throw away the one because it was being dumb. Might have to get another set that has a couple more bigger floofy brushes. Well, not floofy, but a couple more bigger brushes. Anywho. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo. Excuse me while I change the perspective of things just a bit. There we go. Wanted to make sure I was using a different enough red than the other one. Although now I'm seeing this red and thinking maybe I should have used it instead of the other one and I should have switched them. But this one tends to come out a little bit more orange, a little bit more of a yellowy red, which is why my brain didn't really think about doing that. Oh well. Honestly, the best part about watercolors is just how forgiving they are and also how easy they are to change over if you really, really want to. And like by that I mean if I really, really wanted to, I could just go over these reds with like an alcohol marker and it would cover up basically immediately. Watercolors are really, really easy to change if you decide suddenly that you don't like a thing enough. Squish. Whoa! Good thing I caught that before it dripped onto the thing. That would have been obnoxious. Yeah, that looks close enough to lined up. Again, someone out there is going to be like, your stripes are not perfectly straight. I know. Again, I have a little ruler up there. If I had really wanted to, I could have. It's a background. The way I see it is it's a background. It doesn't have to line up perfectly because it's a background. Kinda just doing the thing. So, as I said in the other one, while I have been avoiding spoilers for the most part, like obviously as I mentioned, I've been at least to a vague degree keeping up with character redesigns and oh, excuse me, again. That's gonna keep happening, isn't it? At least to a vague degree, I've been keeping up with character redesigns as they happen, and I mentioned at least, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that I was keeping up with the music that has thus far been released or leaked, one of the two. I'm pretty sure most of it started off as leaked and then they just kind of leaned into it, but which honestly I feel like is one of the better ways to deal with it, because as soon as you show anyone anything, it's gonna get leaked. You just kind of have to know that that's going to happen, especially with a somewhat popular franchise. that people have been waiting so long for information for. But I think I do kind of really love the Alistair versus Vox song. And again, I've been not watching the animated spoilers because I've been trying to keep myself at least mostly spoil free. But I can't help but look into the music because I love musicals. Not gonna lie, I love musicals to a concerning degree. So here we are. Yeah. It whipped weird. And I do love the Vox versus Alistair song. That just makes my brain very happy. Because we all knew that had to happen as soon as they showed Vox and announced what he kind of was. And then we're like, but one of our main characters is nicknamed the Radio Demon. I feel like everyone was just like, oh, that's gonna end up being a battle at some point. That's just going to have to become a battle at some point. Kind of surprised they did it so quickly, though. Like, within the first 4 episodes. But I guess if everyone assumes that something's going to happen, you may as well just be like, alright, here's the thing that we all know is going to happen. Why not? We got it out of the way. Stop bothering us. I'm sure that wasn't actually the reason. But, like, that's because I'm pretty sure even before that they were doing things listen, my brain is not functioning. I'm pretty sure before, like, the official version of Alistair versus Vox, there were other people being, like, making parodies of it on the YouTubes. The YouTubes, plural. Everyone knows there's multiple. I'm sorry. I am highly loopy today. Anywho. I feel like it's also kind of fitting that Vox has, like, vague American flag vibes, but, like, dark. Because, let's be honest, most children in America now are being raised by the television or the TV. Yep, that was the same thing. Like the television or like the internet or like screens in general. And like I was born at like a weird middle point. Where, yes, the internet existed, but it wasn't big. You actually had like a vague amount of fight in order to find things that you wanted or whatever. So it's kind of fun. That he does give off, like, even though the light color is not quite white, it's like light enough that it vaguely gives like white vibes, and the rest of him is blue and red and then black. So I feel like, I don't know if intentionally he was vaguely colored like that, but that's kind of the vibes that my brain gets. And I find that vaguely amusing. one stripe left. And then while this is drying, I'm going to collect the pens and markers that I shall need from beside me. Doodaloo, 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 doo. There. Sit. Could you not? Ugh, this one might end up having to be tossed too, which is annoying because this is my last wider brush that I have. It's also annoying because these ones were my more expensive ones, and I can tell that because my cheap ones have orange caps on them, whereas the more expensive ones are all clear. But the little stoppers just will not stop falling out of them. And you kind of need that in order to control the amount of water that's coming out of them at any given moment. And the problem is that I literally just fixed this one before I started doing this. And the stopper, I don't know if you can see it hanging out at the bottom there. Yeah, you can kind of see it. That little thing right there in the bottom. Yeah, you can see it because I just shook it and it moved. It will not stop falling out. And the problem is I've already thrown away several of my more expensive ones because they won't stop falling out. And the cheap ones didn't come with a wide brush. All I have is Scree. Anyway, I'm going to need a lighter blue. Yeah. Sorry if I poof away from the screen for a little bit. I have various supplies strewn about the little top part of my desk here. And thus, do I want to use that blue or do I want to use this blue? See, this blue I think might end up being slightly too dark. Yeah, I think that blue's gonna be too dark. Wow. Go back in there. A darker black. I think I am actually out of my black fine liners up here, which is obnoxious. Yep, because those is all colored. Unless, is you black? Nope, you was pink. There's a black one. Yes. I do also still need the bigger black, though, for the eye. I'm going to need to put that black one separate from the other one so that I don't mess that up again. Do I need any of these colors for this? Don't think I do. No, I don't think I do. Alright. Oh, nope, that's not gonna work. And go back in your cubby. Be a nice collection of fine liners and go back into your cubby. I hate when I remove, like, basically everything out of a cubby and then I try to put them back in and they're like, what if we didn't fit? And I'm like, but I just pulled all of you out of this cubby. I know you fit. I've seen you do it. No. How dare. Welcome home. Make sure do. Alright, let's get the black outlines in first. This is just going to be moving constantly as I work on finding less wet spots to place my hand. Excuse me, Mr. Fineliner. Why are you not finelining? Did you die? Gosh darn it. Yep, naturally. Alright, well. This isn't very fine, but I guess we'll see how this goes. Good news is, I'm not gonna be doing like his teeth and stuff in this. Another good news is, this eye is actually supposed to be thicker around with the black. I am in a near constant state of needing new fine liners because I like to ink things, which means that I am nearly constantly and getting them, and the main problem is that family keeps buying me like variety packs, and like I appreciate it, but also I just need black. I just need black, so much black. And there we go. Oh, wait. Those lines are going to need to be a little bit thicker than what I have. Sure. Also, why did I keep this one when it doesn't work very well? Oh, excuse me. Again, I don't know what the hell is wrong with me today. I mean, I know what's wrong with me in general, but I don't. Oops. Well, it turns out this one's going to take longer anyways, because of the sheer amount of detail in him, which I guess makes sense. But Tori, why didn't you use the brush marker to do the outlines? Because I like the outlines to be a consistent shade. And brush markers are good for a lot of things, but consistent size is not one of them. In fact, they're kind of made for the antithesis of having a consistent size. And I find, at least for outlines, I want my size consistent. And that might just be me and my brain being ridiculously stubborn about the thing, but I'm gonna move that over there so that I don't forget about its existence again. I have, like, part of my problem, right, is that I have things a little bit of everywhere, all of the time. Which means I often forget where some things end up, especially if they're blocked slightly. And so, up here I have my handy dandy little phone holder. And while it is great for, well, holding my phone, that's what it's for, and keeping it kind of in a place in which I remember where it is, and it's not going to, like, get lost or drop or anything. The problem is it does also block just a small amount of the things that I have, which means that I may have just found a couple workable fine liners, and they were just behind my phone, and I didn't know that they were there because they were behind my phone. And while I'm not surprised by the fact that I would do this to myself, I am vaguely annoyed. Like, at no point would I say I'm surprised by finding things that I didn't know I had in my house, because I'm one of those people that's like, oh, I should put this in a place in which I won't forget where it is. And then I immediately forget where it is. Like, expeditiously, if not sooner. So, no one is surprised by me finding things. I am kind of just realizing that when I am like this, all you can see is black blob. I apologize. Again, lighting up here is garbage because it's Ohio and we have a snowstorm, which means that there is no light coming from that side. Like, there's a vague amount of light coming from that side, and it's not enough. So, like, I don't know. I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know what you want from me. This blue is not as bright as I thought it would be, but that's, I guess, normal for gel pens. Doesn't mean I have to like it, but it is, in fact, normal for gel pens. He does have 2 different shades of blue for eyebrows, so we're gonna see how this goes. Pop. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't use the other one, because the other one is much darker than these. This one's a little bit greener than it looks, though. And so that's mildly annoying. Oh well. That just seems to be the story of my life as of lately. Oh, that's mildly annoying. Guess I'm dealing with that now. Yay! Boop. Beep. Ah, no, I missed. Ich. Sit. Sit, Ubu. Okay. We're going to give this one last try. It just... no. I mean, it's making a vaguely lighter colored smudge, but it is not actually making a white mark. Oh yeah, it's worse when I'm going over something that's not black. Because the tip is collecting... the tip is collecting color. That didn't help, but the tip is collecting color. So instead of making things white, it's just spreading around the color. Alright, well that pen gets to go die. That marker gets to go die. Back to my good old trusty jelly rolls. Yay! Well, that almost did a thing that I wanted it to. Was kind of hoping that it would lighten the area a little bit more, but I guess I made him such a light gray that you can't really tell. And to be fair, it did dry much lighter than it normally does. Oh well. I'm not mad at it, because I do kind of like it lighter colored anyways. Because then it makes his face stick out a little bit better against the not face. Against the border. Which I think is what the red outline is supposed to do, if we're being honest. Because in his artwork, he has a red outline around his face. So it's black like the edge of the screen, and then like a red outline. And then the screen is like a dark gray. I don't know. Oh. Gosh darn it. How dare we sit right there. One of these times I'm gonna learn how to spell things. My dyslexia does not make this any easier. Don't go black. I used the wrong your. I used the wrong your. I'm very tired. Make you our own status quo. Listen, we're just gonna assume that he's glitching. We're just gonna assume that he's glitching. And that's why he used the wrong your. I don't... Now I'm annoyed by that too. The problem is that, well, I guess it's not a problem. Kind of just means that it's not as obvious. I do have like a couple of them that I've already made that I've just done little screw ups on, and I'm just like, frick. Actually, how about can I... That's a close enough green. And then I have this pink. And then I can use this red. And I might just be able to make this look slightly more intentional. Because I can just make it look like one of those color thingies where it's like, oh no, the color flubbed up. There was a glitch. Oh no. Looks slightly out of place in exactly that location, but you know what? I'm trying to hide a mistake by making it look vaguely intentional. Actually, I do have the blue too if I wanted to. And I know this isn't like exactly the order that it goes in. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like white, yellow, cyan, green, magenta, red, blue, but like it gives you the gist. And it makes it look like less of a fuck up. And that's really all I can ask for. Making it look like slightly less of a fuck up. Here, I'll put it in slightly more of the correct order over here. I do not have a cyan thing though. Let's see if this works. It does not. Should have expected that, but it was worth a shot. Nope. Why? I mean, I guess I could always try to make cyan with the green and the blur. Because if I do it while they're still wet, it might work. And sometimes they do the blendy thing. Nope. Blue is too dark. It overpowered it immediately. Oh well. I tried. Blue. Green. I forget to do the dotty staticky bits. Oh well. Ah! Doodaloo, 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 doo. No, I did not intentionally screw up so that I could add more random colors. Just in case you were wondering. Yellow, I think, is too close to him for the random colors to actually work very well. There we go. And now it looks vaguely intentional. I wonder if... Okay, hopefully this doesn't accidentally screw it up, but I am at the futzing point. Okay, well it didn't screw it up, but it also didn't help. So it was it did nothing, is what it did. Which, you know, and there we go. Now it's the correct ish. I mean, you can't tell it was ever the wrong your anymore. Except for, like, the dot in there that vaguely looks like where a thing could go. But I'm gonna do the thing where I make this slightly bigger and I show the better camera. Hold on. Hey, that worked, sort of. Now I'm blind, though, because it is shining directly into my, like, generally vaguely into my eyes. Oh, well. The things you do for it. This ended up taking just as long as a regular one with 2 because of the sheer amount of extra random details and the sheer amount of me accidentally messing up. Oops. Toodles!